Okay, grade 12s. So you may have heard in the previous one speaking about distance and displacement. So I just want to do a short video just to explain what's the difference between distance and displacement. What am I referring to? Why am I saying yes, distance is always positive, but displacement can change? So think about yourself when you travel a distance. So let's say you walk, simple example, let's say you walk um, 5 meters forward, and then you walk 3 meters backwards. So when you are asked what is the total distance that you traveled, you will say you traveled 5 plus 3. So the total distance you traveled is 8 meters. But now, because that's distance is it doesn't care about direction. Distance is the total path that you travel. So the total path that you travel, the total distance. So 5 plus 3 is 8 meters. Even though you travel forward and backwards, 5 plus 3. So now displacement is the change in your position from where you started to where you finished. So displacement cares about direction. So for example, with the same example, you walked 5 meters forward, 3 meters backwards. So depending, we say taking forward is positive. This is gonna be positive 5 minus 3. Positive 5 plus negative 3, which means 2, which will get 2 meters. So basically your final position here is so in terms of direction, your distance is 8 meters. You've traveled 8 meters, but your displacement is 2 meters. So this is your final position. So remember, distance, how much did I travel? Displacement, how far am I from where I started and in which direction? So that's displacement. Distance doesn't care about much about the direction, just the total path that you traveled. But displacement, it cares about um, direction. If you think about projectile, if you throw a ball, if you throw a ball um, upwards and then it comes back down, what's the total distance? The total distance that this ball, let's say, it traveled 10 meters upwards. So the total distance would be 10 plus 10, which is 20 meters. So the total distance that the ball traveled is 20 meters. But what is my displacement? My displacement will be 20 minus 20, which is equals to 0 meters, because the ball ended exactly where it started. So yeah, so that's the difference. So remember that. That's why in projectile we talk about displacement. That's why we use direction. That's why we use directions. We use positive or negative. But remember, distance is the total path traveled. So that's why it remains positive. It doesn't care much about the direction.